Hello, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Tonight I just wanted to talk a little bit about simulation theory, the possibility that we are already in a program set up, filled to the brim with information, and I was contemplating this very much in the last few years of my life, but now more than ever, as I go through more and more days and months, and it just seems that we are part of some sort of simulation. There's a scientist named Neil deGrasse Tyson. Not necessarily sure if he's an absolute scientist, but this man deals with computer programs and a real smart guy. But he's saying that it's like 50-50 possibility, and there's another guy out there claiming 49% chance. That's high probability. I would say, in my own opinion, I think we are in some sort of simulation. However, it's still tied to this very strong reality where we're still dealing with everything that life has to offer, but maybe somebody, some entity, deity, a god is out there, and they sent us into this program to figure something out. Because if we are made of zeros and ones, that would kind of make sense, as we're moving towards a very digital kind of world that you can't deny. I'm seeing you through a phone right now, you're seeing me through a phone right now. Digital computing, pushed and compressed, sent to your phone through my phone, turned into zeros and ones, and completely digital. So I would believe that we're possibly made of this as well. And I learned a little bit about DNA lately, about how strong DNA is, and that we're all made of DNA, and that too is a combination of numbers. And it turns out that 1 gram of DNA holds about, what's that, 4.55 exabytes. So that's an equivalent to billions of gigabytes. And a gigabyte, I think we all know what a gigabyte is, pretty strong. And it's really dense data, and we're all carrying this dense data, and it's like we're already on a program anyways. Just by having our DNA, which comes in a spiral-like sequence, which is also interesting. And according to the internet, 4 grams of DNA can hold all the data in the world, all of it. 4 grams can hold all the data in the world, and according to the internet, every photo on Instagram that was ever posted. Now that's pretty wild. Cracking a root beer right here. This is part of the simulation. That's good. How crazy is that? Just 4 grams. You know how much a gram is. You know, it's not that much. It's a little amount. 4 grams can hold all the data in the world. and we're walking around with all this extra. That's wild. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. If left in good condition, they say DNA can be left around and still be presentable after thousands or millions of years if it's in a cool, dry climate. Wow. That's wild. That's insane. Millions of years, and DNA can just stay. That's what we're proving. That's what we're finding out. And with this DNA, we're walking around holding all this data, all this extra storage. And then we're part of a simulation with the zeros and ones. And I think we've all experienced some of these weird glitches. They call it a glitch in the Matrix. When you would have something happen to you that was just shouldn't be. For instance, I was making a video a few days ago, and I bought one of these drinks, and it was a banana cream, and I was watching some stuff on YouTube, and after I made the video, I said, "This drink's bananas, bananas," and then on the tube, there's a guy and he was like, "Yeah, it's absolutely bananas." And then on another video, they mentioned that this is bananas. And even if I went looking for that, that would be something. That would be, then you'd be like, "Oh yeah, you looked it up," but it just came out, and that was bananas. That I got the bananas, mentioned bananas, turned on different YouTube videos, and then it gave bananas back to me. And then on Thursday, I bought a Fred Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt at a vintage shop, spur of the moment, did not plan on it, had no idea the shirt was there, purchased it anyways. I went walking down to Federal and Alameda towards where I live, and then the guy walking behind me, he had a Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt. And I was just like, what? It's just the synchronicity, that situation, out of all times, out of all the movements I did throughout the day, because I went walking that day for several hours. What are the odds I would have ran into a guy with the same, not exactly the same shirt, but a shirt of Fred Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I bought the shirt. He was wearing the shirt. It all lined up at the same time as a coincidence. But I just don't think it's a coincidence anymore. So many things like this have been happening, these glitches in the Matrix, that it feels like there's a message from the Creator or the God, the universe, telling you something, letting you know you're on the correct path. I just can't brush that off as mere by chance of randomness in this world that's so compact with so much going on. It should be more random, right? Why isn't it more random? Instead, everybody experiences these glitches or coincidences that take place in their life. It's just wild. And then it brings me to fractals and looking into golden ratios and Fibonacci spirals. This stuff is super interesting. And it turns out that golden ratios are part of us. Our face is a golden ratio of 1.618, and then it's several numbers after that. But they figured out that these golden ratios are in lots of living organisms here. They're in lots of plant, animal, and foods. shapes of things, all existing on our planet, which is made of organic matter, but then we break it down into mathematical proportions. And then it gets even weirder when there's like eclipses, like a lunar eclipse, and then the sun is far from the moon, and then that's super far from the earth, and it all lines up just exactly right. That's weird. And then our ancestors, all the ones before us, they knew how to calculate all this. Excuse me. They knew something about it, and they figured out what was going on. I feel like we may have lost that interconnectedness with the planet, with our senses, as if we're lacking another sense. Like maybe there's a seventh sense that we can't get a hold of right now, but it just doesn't seem like, how could they have known that? But then it takes us very long time to figure this out, and we finally figured this out, and we finally figured out atoms, how to split atoms, and now we can make these gigantic killing bombs that'll destroy all of us. And maybe we already did something like that, and we're in a simulation to figure out how to stop us from doing that in the future. And then the passage of time, and now it's turning out that time is maybe not as real as we thought it was, because some smart folks are talking about how if you send a person into space, they may not age the same way we age. The passage of time, if it's made up or not, we're experiencing it in our own time, and then we've all experienced slower versions of time, faster versions of time, whether sober or on some sort of substance, but we've all experienced some sort of differences when it comes to time. And then when this really gets opened up all the way is when under the influence of a psychedelic experience, whether it be LSD or DMT, psilocybin mushrooms, or even large amounts of cannabis, all this comes to the forefront, and I get to feel the time slowing down or time speeding up, fractals, Fibonacci spirals, movement, and then with the higher doses, a form of a digital world, digital, just surrounded by a digitized realm, just digital and hyper colored. Super strange, super weird. There's something to it. The randomness should be more random for what it is. And then, it's said that you're looking for it, you're searching for it, you have your mind on it. Whatever you focus on, it'll appear in this reality. That may be, but I think there's a lot more to it, and I think there's upon the age that we're in now, entering that age of Aquarius, with the psychedelics and all the math and the digitalism and all the higher thinking and higher consciousness, it's all coming up to a point. Something special is taking place here. Those are my thoughts about that. I just had to get that out. If you ever get a chance, anybody out there, do take a psychedelic voyage and pay attention while you do it, and then report back to me. Comment or something what you've experienced, because I've experienced a tremendous amount of life and world on the other side, and And then with LSD, a lot of variations of life and patterns that I've recognized, and certain things, lots of coincidence going on while you're on the LSD, and premonitions of the future, and then possible thought connections, remote viewing, and I dare say psychic abilities when using these compounds. It's as if it is really opening your third eye and allowing you to use that seventh sense. And for all we know, we only know we got the six senses, but come on, I think we're still in our infantile phase, and there's so much more to us human beings, and we're only scratching the surface. Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. That's what I truly believe in. But yeah, let me know what you think. Glitches, DNA can store us. It's got us stored up. It's got terabytes. It's got all this information for us, made of zeros and ones, synchronicities, golden ratios, fractals when we do psychedelics. Interesting stuff. Alright, the odd one, and we're signing out.